Hi, today I'm going to talk about your work in the second week of therapy. Thank you for trying the tips and activity goals all from the first week. I'm sure you're happy with it. I'm sure your child enjoyed the storybook, Who's My Mother, isn't it? And is he using two-word items in auditory memory? What I mean to say is he remembering two words in the sentence what you tell him? At least sometimes. Continue that. In the second week also, our auditory goal will remain two-item auditory memory. That means he has to remember two objects or two nouns in whatever sentence we say. Now, remember this time to be more conscious of that these names or objects are related to each other, because then it's easy to remember, no, if they are related. For example, I give you the example of the fruit. Now, in the fruit, what can you say? We were talking about apple and banana last time, right? So you can say, I want to peel an apple. Give me the apple and the peeler. The same way when you come to serving meals, then you can say, I want rice and dal. Do you want chapati and sabji? Okay, give me rice and dal. Shall I serve you chapati and sabji? Tell me what shall I serve you? What's that? And accordingly, the child will remember the two words clearly. Also, you can have many activities, no, daily routine activities. All the time you talk about this. Suppose you are doing breakfast and during the breakfast we use bread, maybe, and then you can say, I want bread with butter. Do you want bread with jam? And then he has to, okay, I want bread with butter. Give me bread and butter. Did you notice what we are doing here? We are drawing their attention, your child's attention to the verbs now. So you are working on verbs also. You are exposing your child to verbs. You remember in the first week you were more focused on the nouns as for vocabulary, but now we are moving from nouns to verbs also. So noun plus verbs you are doing. In receptive language goals, he still has to remember the same question. We will continue who's that. Now we will add who's that. Remember last time we were talking about what's that, correct? So now this time we'll add who's that. So by the end of 2 weeks, your child will know two questions in receptive vocabulary. Means he will understand two questions, who and what. You see, when you were doing the story, you must have realized there also you say who's that. So it comes very naturally all the time. But now there will be more focus on who's that. You will continue what's that question also, and many other questions which come incidentally. Now at this stage, in expressive language goals, we expect the child to even use the question. What question to use? To use the question, what's that? Because that's what we taught last time. In your speech, what will be the goals? We imitate babble. Now, what is babbling? Babbling means when we are taking two consonants, two vowels together, it makes a word, but that word does not have any particular meaning. It's just a nonsense word. Like you say, Biba, Biba. There might be somebody's name also Biba, then it becomes meaningful. So when you are saying Papa, it's actually a babble between the consonant and the vowel, but that becomes meaningful. So babbling is important. From babbling, the children move to the words. So at this stage, because the child is using most of the jargon and not clear speech and not clear words, and still is using intonation and duration of that particular input what you have given, we work specially on the alternating of vowels. For example, the child says Papa, so we work on Papa, Baba, Mama. But at the same time, if he says Peepa, then you say Peepa, Peepa, Peepoo. So you are copying him, imitating him, but adding one more word, which becomes a very funny auditory game. I used to love to play these games with the children. You try this with your child. You say what the child says, no? Repeat that and add one more word. Now, when you're doing these Babel games, also be careful when you're doing discrimination of speech. Use the words, the consonants, the sounds which the child knows. Now, child knows pa, ba, ma, so use papa, baba, mama. The child knows no, use no, no. Hi, we did this last week, so you are going to continue this week. But be careful when you select the consonants, the sounds, they should be very different. We, in technical terms, we say use the consonants different by manner. Manner actually means method, so you don't worry about that. Just to let you know, to explain a little bit, when I'm saying mama, I'm speaking from my nose. You can hear the nasal voice, mama, nana. But when I'm saying, and I'm not pressing my lips hard, right? Now when I'm saying papa, baba, it is not nasal. I'm not speaking from my nose. It's very oral voice. And also, I'm pressing my lips hard. So this is how we produce different sounds. That is called manner. You don't have to worry about all this at this stage. This is just for your information so that you know what you're doing. Take very different sounds together. Like take mama and papa together, but not mama and nana. So that will help your child to develop the particular consonant sound in his speech. The story I recommend here is I'm a Busy Spider. So it's The Very Busy Spider. The name of the book is The Very Busy Spider. This is a very good book for reinforcing the language of what's that, who's that, and moving from nouns to verbs now. So every time the spider says, I'm spinning webs, I'm not free, I'm working hard. So we say she's very busy, she's spinning the web. So you go into the verbs. Tips. Okay, what tips can I give you? The golden rule is 3. That means whatever you do, if the child is not giving reply or action or imitation, what you expect, try 3 times and not more than that. It becomes too boring and the child will not pay attention after that. And if it's not done in 3 times, he will never do it. Try it again. So therefore, suppose you say something to the child, give me dal and rice, but the child only gives you rice. You say, listen again. I said, I want dal and rice. You're using acoustic highlights, saying the word little louder. You're still not giving. Then you can give up after 2 attempts or even after 3rd attempt, where you say, I want dal and rice. I want 2 things, not 1 thing. And if he still doesn't work, he is not at that level. So continue doing that. He will slowly get into it and develop that. Don't worry about this. Another tip, sit next to the child and not opposite. Why? Because when you sit next to the child, you are encouraging the child to listen. So when you are talking to your child, every time you don't have to change your position, then sit next to him and then talk. Throughout the day, you're talking to your child. No. In the natural situation, when you're talking to your child, just be careful that you're not exactly facing the child, getting his eye contact or turning his head to you, saying, look at me, listen. This is not listen, this is look. So just be careful about that. This is just to encourage him listening, so that what he gets through auditory, he should be able to understand. Therefore, just take care of that. Another tip you can do is joint attention. Joint attention means you have something common. Either you have a book you're talking about, or you have picture book you're talking about, story book you're talking about, toy you're talking about, toy you're playing with, craft you're doing, any activity. There is something where both of you are looking there, you and your child. You're both looking there and talking. The advantage will be the child will be looking there. You're both attending to that. That's why it's called joint attention. And the child will increase his span of attention also, and child will get used to listening also, because he's not looking at you. He's more interested in the object his work is looking at. Another tip what I can give you is imitation. Now, imitation, remember, is only for speech, not for language. Speech is imitation and language is comprehension, understanding. So when I say Papa and the child says Mama, I say listen again. I said Papa and the child says Mama. I say Papa and the child says Mama. That's right. And if it doesn't say 3 golden rule, remember, leave it. But when you are doing imitation, you are working on speech, you will need the child to listen to your voice, listen to his voice, compare both the sounds and try to match with your voice. That way he will improve his speech. But for language, you have to listen. He has to listen to the full sentence. So you have to say the full sentence, and he has to understand, guess what contextually, what does it actually mean. Okay, I think that's enough for the second week. Work on it. Send me the questions if you have any. And remember, you have to write the chronological age of your child and the age at what he got implant also. Subscribe to Cochlear India YouTube channel. And remember, I told you last time also, press the bell icon so that you will get notification for all these episodes. Also, there is a link if you want to download the whole resource of Sound Foundation for Toddlers. You can use that. So go ahead, all the best. I'm sure you're becoming better and better in home training, and your child is paying more attention, learning more. All the best. See you next week. Thank you.